Hello and welcome to Prairie Pulse. Coming up a little bit later in the show, we'll hear a musical performance by the Sloughgrass Family Band. But first, joining me now is Mary Beth Orn from the Midland Continental Depot Transportation Museum featuring Peggy Lee. Long title, and you got a lot to tell us today. Mm-hmm. As we get started, first off, Mary Beth, tell the folks a little bit about yourself, where you're originally from, and some of your background.
I'm a long resident of the Wimbledon area, lifelong resident of the Wimbledon area, and I'm also a board member of the Midland Continental Depot Transportation Museum featuring Peggy Lee.
Well, okay, now how did you become involved with the depot and the museum?
Well, actually, when we got it started and the project started evolving, I stepped up and served on the depot committee. It was actually my mother who had a dream of getting this promoted in Wimbledon, and so from there we got it going.
Well, all right, so let's talk a little bit about the depot and the history there. Can you talk some about that?
Sure. Well, the depot was actually restored or completed in 2012, and it's really a world-class museum showcasing two treasures in one, the Midland Continental Railroad, and also it is the home of the music legend and North Dakota native Peggy Lee. Just a little bit about the Midland Continental Railroad. It was a short line railroad that actually operated between 1912 and 1970, and it was originally planned to be a north-south transcontinental railroad linking the grain markets from Winnipeg all the way to the Gulf of Mexico. And only 77 miles of track were laid in North Dakota, and it was only between Edgeley, North Dakota, up to Wimbledon, North Dakota. And actually in 1912, the first section of track was laid from Edgeley to Jamestown. And then in 1913, the second section of track was laid from Jamestown to Wimbledon, and the first train came to Wimbledon. Midland Continental Railroad train came to Wimbledon on October 29th in 1913. And so it's the only remaining depot. So the headquarters were actually in Jamestown. It was a beautiful brick depot there, brick freight house and roundhouse. And the Midland also had a spur up to the North Dakota State Hospital. It carried a lot of freight, mostly coal and grain and petroleum products. It was, of course, it was back in the 1900s, it carried cattle and cream and eggs, chickens, passengers, even carried mail for a while. And probably the bread and butter of it all for the Midland was it connected three transcontinental rail lines, the Soo Line in Wimbledon, the Northern Pacific in Jamestown, and the Milwaukee Road in Edgeley. So that's what really kept it going. It's kind of exciting. In 1934, the Midland Continental Railroad was one of the first railroads to purchase a diesel locomotive up in the Midwest. So that was exciting. We had one of the last passengers to ride from Wimbledon to Jamestown was in 1964. So, back in 1969, a disastrous flood damaged the rail beds, and so the Soo Line and the Burlington Northern, they picked up a lot of the small stretches, and then in 1970, the Midland Continental and the depot closed.
Okay.
So.
Well, yeah. So, but then how did you eventually turn it into sort of an historic site? And of course, I understand that this is the 100th year celebration that you're having too?
Yes, it is. I could give you just how the project all evolved.
Sure.
Since the railroad closed in 1970, it was in 1971 that the city of Wimbledon and the Wimbledon Community Museum, they acquired the last remaining Midland Continental Railroad depot. And then it wasn't until about the 1990s that the museum board put some plans in place to restore the depot into a museum. And then in 2003, it was placed on the National Register of Historic Places. And then in July of 2007, we received some money from the Myrna Boltema estate, which would be seed money for the restoration project. And she was my mother, and it was her dream that this would be restored to promote Wimbledon. And that's when things really began to form and to get going. We did form a depot committee in 2007, and a big gift to Wimbledon was also at that time a Wimbledon native, Lonnie Lafine. He gave all of his architectural services in kind to the depot, which was great. 2008, we had a conceptual design booklet completed. And of course, there's all these other hitches. We had to purchase the land from CP Rail and the building from the city. But the real gift and the real thing that made this project go was in 2009. It was a major gift to Wimbledon. The Federal Highway Department, we received a transportation enhancement grant, and they were received for the restoration and the interpretation. And so that was what really made us go. We started our phase 1 in July 26, 2010, which was the actual restoration of the depot. Rich Smith was the general contractor from Tipkey Construction. He's a Wimbledon native. So, and most of the subcontractors were also Wimbledon natives. So that it just was a real project that we were all working together on. Then in September 2010, we started phase 2, which was the interpretation of the depot. And that was by a professional design team, C Reach, and they completed that in 2012. And then we had our grand opening.
And of course, your grand opening was?
May 26, 2012. And it was an exciting day. And we had 3 of Peggy Lee's grandchildren and 3 of her great-grandchildren that were also able to attend the grand opening. So,
well, that had to be exciting. But well, then there you go. Let's turn to Peggy Lee just a little bit as you brought her up.
Sure.
Tell us a little bit about Peggy Lee. I believe she lived in this exact location from what 1934 to 1937, I believe.
Yes, she did. Her name was Norma Dolores Eggstrom, better known as Peggy Lee, and she lived and worked in this very depot when her father, Marvin Eggstrom, was the Midland Continental Railroad depot agent. And so actually she was born in Jamestown on May 26, 2000, or not 2000, but excuse me, 1920. And her father worked for the Midland Continental Railroad there. And actually her mother died when she was only 4 years old in 1924. And then in 1928, the Eggstroms, Peggy Lee and her family, and her father and a stepmother, who also worked for the Midland Continental Railroad, they moved to Nortonville. And she spent a lot of time in her childhood there in Nortonville. But then in 1934, when Peggy Lee was ready to enter high school, her father was transferred to the Wimbledon depot, Midland Continental Depot. And so actually the depot, he brought Peggy Lee there, known as Norma to us in Wimbledon. And the living quarters of the depot, actually the agent lived upstairs, and those were the living quarters of the depot. And Norma, being only 14, 16, she helped her father run the depot too. So, and actually during Norma's high school years in Wimbledon, which was 1934 to 1937, the community was pretty instrumental in helping her get her start in her musical career. She was an active high school student. She was editor of the school paper. She was in some let's see, plays and all kinds of things that we have record of, and we actually have that up in the depot. And in 1936, it was exciting. The first time she ever sang over the radio was KOVC in Valley City. And she also, at that time, she sang with the Doc Haynes Band, which was a Valley City College band. And her first debut was at the Valley City Eagles Club in December 31st, 1936. She was only 16 years old. And so it was a New Year's Eve party. And the people in Wimbledon made sure that she always had transportation to Valley City, and she didn't have the kindest stepmother, and people of Wimbledon knew that. They helped her make some dresses, fix her hair, all of those kinds of things. And she graduated from Wimbledon High School in 1937.
Okay. So what will people see with the Peggy Lee exhibit? You mentioned you have some of the things that reflect back when she was in high school.
Exactly. On the second floor of the depot, that has been restored to the time when Norma, or Peggy Lee, lived there. And so there is, and again, this was the living quarters of the depot agent. And so we have her bedroom that she slept in. There's the kitchen that she worked in, and an additional bedroom. And there's a large living room that's dedicated entirely to Peggy Lee's life and story and her music. And in there, we do have 3 of her, in this special room, we have 3 of Peggy Lee's show dresses, a hat, and some shoes. And we have one of her original paintings. She, besides being a singer-songwriter, she also was an artist and sculptor. We have like 80 covers of her albums. There is, which is really interesting, we have an iPad that you can sit down and listen to 132 of her songs. And right across the way, we have a working Victrola. So we've got modern technology and an antique that you can hear one of her songs on.
Wow.
So
if you're going to come visit, spend a little time, you can listen to all the songs. That sounds great.
Exactly.
Now, since you've only been open 1 year, how many visitors do you think you had last year?
Well, actually, last year we had 967 visitors that registered in the guest book. We had people from 34 states and 5 foreign countries. Pretty exciting.
It is. Let's talk a little bit about, how is the depot and the museum funded and operated?
Well, we're, of course, a nonprofit organization, and so we are totally run by volunteers, and it's by donations that we have it running.
Yeah. Well, so it's a volunteer board, it sounds like.
Yes.
So how many member board do you have? And
well, I haven't really
right,
stopped
but then how many volunteers does it take? Because you're open parts of the year, and so,
right,
so how many people does it help to get this running? Yeah.
Right now I have 15 volunteers just right from the Wimbledon area that come in, and they help us when we're open with our regular hours from Memorial Day to Labor Day from 1 to 4. And we're open daily, so they come in and help us. A couple of those guys have actually worked in a depot. They know how to run the telegraph machine, and so it's exciting. And one of our gentlemen that also is a volunteer, he's 92 or some years old. He rode on the Midland Continental, and he also knew Peggy Lee. So wow. It's exciting. All of the people, it's just the help of all the people in Wimbledon.
Sure. So can people become members then to support it, you said? So if anybody's interested, we'll give information at the end of the show here.
Right. Come, we accept any donations, okay. That's for sure. Mm-hmm.
You mentioned about a special open house celebration you have coming up June 22nd.
Right, on June 22nd. Well, the Midland Continental Depot was built. Actually, we found the Wimbledon newspaper, and it said it was completed in the end of November of 1913. But we're having a celebration because the depot is 100 years old. That's going to be held as an open house on June 22nd from 1 to 4 p.m. And we would just invite everyone to come and bring your Midland Continental Railroad pictures, any memorabilia, or any stories that you'd like to share.
Yeah, good, good. I also understand you've got a project you're working on about restoring a caboose and I guess the original diesel engine of the Midland Continental Railroad.
That's actually phase 3.
Okay.
Our next step. You get one large project done, and then you go on and get funding to go on to the next ones. Yes, there's a caboose that is right outside. It's right on the tracks, right next to the boardwalk of the depot, and that does need to be restored. And we also have a car house and a flat car, and then a possible engine that would be coming. So our next phase, what we'll be working on next, are those things.
You know, we had other people on that we've talked about railroads and things. People always just seem to be fascinated with railroads, and especially the old cabooses, and they're becoming a thing of the past. So it's wonderful that y'all are helping to preserve that history.
Yes, thank you. We enjoy it. We hope to get all of those railroad buffs to come out and see it, because the Midland is such a unique railroad, and a railroad ahead of its time, actually.
Well, you know, Peggy Lee, you know, obviously, or Norma, as y'all, you know, as you know, what has that meant to Wimbledon and her legacy? And of course, y'all are helping to preserve that.
Well, it's just exciting that she was actually graduated from high school right in Wimbledon, and it really was, as I mentioned, she had a rather unkind stepmother, and so it was the people of Wimbledon that we've known it all along, and it's even been in some of the articles in the Wimbledon newspaper at the time too, how people stepped up to help her, you know, get to her radio spots in Valley City, and they made dresses for her, and the people are just very, very proud. And we've connected with Peggy Lee's family too. Holly Foster Wells, who is the granddaughter and also the vice president of Peggy Lee Association, has helped us, and they're excited because they knew that, you know, they wanted to do something like this for their grandmother.
Okay, and understand you're allowing that you can actually book by appointment during non-seasonal. You said you're open Memorial Day, Labor Day, but so how does that work?
Well, we'd love to have you. We're open year-round by appointment. We have our regular visiting hours, Memorial Day to Labor Day, but then anytime, even if you can't come even in the summertime, you can give us a call. We'd love to give you a tour. There's a couple of numbers you could call. One is 701-320-1020, which is Carol Peterson, the chairman of our depot board, and myself, my number would be 701-435-2875.
And of course, I understand for more information, you have a website, I believe?
We do. You can check us out at midlandcontinentaldepot.com. We also have an email that if you'd like to contact us that way, we'd sure answer back, midlandcontinentaldepot@gmail.com.
Well, Mary Beth, thanks so much for joining us today, and best of luck with all that.
Thank you.
All right. Stay tuned for more. The Sloughgrass Family Band hails from the most northern reaches of Minnesota, in the town of Birchdale. The 8 family members span over 3 generations and enjoy putting their own twist on some traditional bluegrass favorites.
Camping in the pines in the hills of Caroline, and a blue-eyed girl is waiting there for me. I'll be going back someday, from her I'll never stray, in a cabin in the hills of Caroline. We're camping in the shadow of the pine, and a blue-eyed girl way down in Caroline. Someday she'll be my wife, we'll live a happy life, in a cabin in the hills of Caroline. Hold on. my grip for that long-lost trip back to the hills of Caroline. Go to see that blue-eyed girl, come sweetest in the world, in a cabin in the hills of Caroline. A cabin in the shadow of the pine, that blue-eyed girl way down in Caroline. Someday she'll be my wife, we'll live a happy life, in a cabin in the hills of Caroline. Late at night and the moon is shining bright and the whippoorwill is calling from the hill. I'll tell her, oh my love, beneath the stars above, I love her now and I know I always will. A cabin in the shadow of the pine, and a blue-eyed girl way down in Caroline. Someday she'll be my wife, we'll live a happy life in a cabin in the hills of Caroline. Here we go. Cabin in the shadow of the pine, and a blue-eyed girl way down in Caroline. Someday she'll be my wife, we'll live a happy life, in a cabin in the hills of Caroline, and a cabin in the hills of Caroline.
Well, in 2009, we bought a bus from the Salvation Army, early 1980s bus. And it was in pretty bad shape, and we just got the brakes fixed on it and made sure the exhaust couldn't come inside. And we made it into a motorhome, and then we drove to North Carolina. And to me, that was probably the best thing we've done as a band. It was kind of a family trip. It was everybody. We just jumped in the bus, we drove. We didn't have any plans, and we played in a church in Lexington, Kentucky. And we went to a place down in North Carolina that we had not planned to go into, but we ended up there. And it was called Brown's Old Opry, and that was just a lot of fun. That was bluegrass music. You know, a lot of bands, they have to be in it for the money or whatever, is their part of their livelihood, or they do it, you know. But for us, it's every time we do something together, it's like, well, that's another memory.
Pretty soul, and that's not all. If I'm not mistaken, I'm sure I'm right. There's somebody else who's proud tonight. I'd red, I'm just crazy about out of red. I'd red, I'm just crazy about out of red. Chicken and bread, been picking out Joe's granny. What you know about Ohio? Hurry up, boys, don't fool around. Grab your partner and truck on down. I'd red, I'm just crazy about out of red. I'd red, I'm just crazy about out of red. set me free. Got so old, head got bald, took a notion I'd die at all. Out of red, I'm just crazy about out of red. Out of red, out of red, I'm just crazy about out of red.
Well, that's all we have on Prairie Pulse for this week, and as always, thanks for watching.
Funded in part by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund, with money from the vote of the people of Minnesota on November 4th, 2008, and by the members of Prairie Public.